Chinese investment in the United States continues to skyrocket. There's a story that I've been meaning to address for some time. It comes out of Alameda Point, where a candidate for city council there says that if elected, he will spearhead a deal with China to lease the city's 918-acre former naval base. His name is Stuart Chen, and he says Alameda should consider talking to foreign investors to solve their economic problems. If elected, Chen said he'd be willing to consider potential Alameda Point investors from a variety of other countries, though a likely starting point in his and others' minds is China. He states that, quote, the money is in Asia, end quote, noting China's world-leading $1 trillion plus investment in United States Treasury bills. And this article, which was originally published in the Chinese press and only picked up by a few publications in the West, goes on to say that this is not a new idea. In fact, former city council member Frank Matrice also suggested that the city consider foreign investment at the point. He asked the city to consider entering a foreign trade zone centered at the Port of Oakland, which would offer foreign firms tariff breaks and other benefits. Also, Mayor Ed Lee said in August that the Leonard Corporation is close to a deal with the China Development Bank for a $1.7 billion loan that's expected to jumpstart development projects on former naval bases at Treasure Island and Hunters Point. So, you're looking at Chinese investment in former U.S., or in this case, naval facilities. And the Wall Street Journal says if the deal is executed, this could become a test case for others like it in the United States. So, I consider this to be a top story in light of the direction this country is going in. We see increased Chinese investment in the United States, different Chinese delegations, wining and dining our so-called elected officials at the state level, the county level, the city level, the federal level. It's happening across the board. Meanwhile, the Cold War has returned. Missile defense shields all over the place. Anti-satellite weapons tests all over the place. The military-industrial complex continues to build. The nations behave as if they're preparing to go to war. You look at events today, and it seems that World War III is around the corner. Why is China being allowed by our government to invest in a former U.S. naval base? I think it's the question that drives us, Neo. It's a question that has to be answered if we are to understand the forces of darkness that are ripping apart this country as I speak.